in the in a different value of x other than 3.
Yeah.
Other than the other 3, I'm sorry.
Wait, did we do this one? I don't remember this one. Which equation, when solved, results in a different value of x than the other three? Oh, so like,
So it's the bottom one. I
well,
forget what number we got from it, but
yeah. Let me just do that real quick, and then I'll just double check. Well, actually, it says like if you solve all of these, one of them gives you a different answer, and three of them give you the same answer.
yeah.
Okay. Are you confident that it's the last one, or do you want me to check it?
Yeah, it's the last one because I went to look. I'm gonna save it right now. I'm gonna save this
Okay.
and exit with that answer. And then the only reason I know is because I went through that the pretest, and then so I can go back and look at what we did and what we did not. So
Oh, and
I
that's how
looked
you
at it
knew that
right
it
to
was.
make sure. So it
Oh, I
was this
see.
one. Look,
Here, let me
yeah.
copy that down. Cause that one, I'm not sure. Like the only way I would know how to do this is by solving all of them.
I think we did that one day. You know, that's probably why we ran out of time.
Yeah. Do you want to go over that again while it's paused, or
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can go.
okay.
I don't know why I got mixed up on that other one. I must have just calculated it wrong and got the wrong answer twice. And
Uh, here, I'm gonna write down two of the equations just to see. So you should only have to solve like three of these, because if you get all the same answer, like if you're just guessing, you solve the first one, you get an answer. You solve the second one, you get the same answer. You solve the next one, you get a different answer. Then you would know that the third choice is the one.
that's the one, right?
Yeah. So you only actually need to solve three, but um, let's just see real quick. Okay. I'm gonna share.
Okay, I'll go to.
All right. So this is the fourth option.
The one we got. No, the answer, right?
Right. So like one thing happens right away. We don't have to like move anything from one side to the other. We don't have to do that yet because of this part. Since this fraction is already multiplied by this fraction, they're already reciprocals, which means they're just flipped over. So the 8 cancels out with the 8, the 7 cancels out with the 7, and even the plus, minus, minus. Like you do a negative times a negative, that ends up with a positive. So even the negatives go away here. So that would change to just positive x. And then there's minus 3 over 4. Does that part make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then equals 20 times negative 8 over 7. And you could put this over 1 just to remind yourself that it can be a fraction as well. All right, and then the next thing I would probably do is multiply this out and see if I can divide it. If I can, I'll do that. If I can't, I won't.
And you always have to go across, right? Unless if it's multiplication, you go straight across, or
right. Multiplication's always straight across. So here, I just multiply 20 times negative 8. 20 times 8.
But if it's adding, then it would be up and down, or like.
If it's adding, like if there's a plus sign in between, then you have to get a common denominator, which means, up and down. You have to multiply the top by something and the bottom by something. So that would be like 7 and 7. Like getting the same container, same cup. So on this one, it would be 120, negative 120 over 7, because 1 times 7 is 7. And then negative 3 over 4 and x. So if these were regular numbers, it would be really easy, but it's not. It would just be, add 3 over 4 plus 3 over 4 we would have to get common denominators. X equals whatever that is added together. And you know what? If we're just trying to figure out like which one is different, I wouldn't even bother with figuring out a common denominator here, because really all you need is a decimal answer too. So what you could do is just type this into the calculator. 120 divided by 7. That's approximately 17.14. I'm just going to do 2 decimal places. And then this one, the 3 divided by 4, 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. So if I'm taking this negative and this positive, I could just do that in my calculator. So
okay.
17.14 and push the negative button, and then add plus 0.75. That would give me negative 16.39. And really, like, I just need to know an answer for that, because I can do another one and then divide it out in my calculator and see if it's the same thing or not. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
So that's the answer to that one. And then I want to do this one, but converting to decimals right away. That way we don't have to do this stuff. So this one, nothing simplifies right away. So then I'm just going to put this in the calculator, and you can really just put the negative anywhere that you want. So I'm just going to put it in the top. So when I divide it in the calculator, it'll be 7, and I'll hit the negative button, and then divide by 8 equals negative 0.875. Bring down the x. Minus this one was already 0.75 equals 20. And then so from this, what would you do?
Oh, so then I would add the 0.75, right?
Yeah.
And then zero itself out, and then I would add it to the 20.
And so we have 20.75. All right, and then the last step, what do you do?
Then we would divide it by 0.875, right?
Yeah.
Divided by 0.875 equals 23.7. Negative, right?
Yeah, negative. So 20.75 divided by. So you said negative 20.
Negative 0.875 equals 19 point. So I guess 20, right?
Wait, I got something else. Let me try it again.
The first time I got 23.7.
That's right.
And
Yeah, that's right. So 20.75, that's the thing you type in first to the calculator, and then divide, and then 0.875 or 0.875.
I don't have to do I don't have to do like negative.
As long as you remember
0.08.
these rules
Then it's
anyway.
negative.
Yeah, you're just gonna put the negative on afterwards. That's what I do anyway.
Okay.
You just have to remember that the rules. If one of them's negative, one of them's positive, your answer is going to be negative. If both of them are positive, the answer is going to be positive. If both of them are negative, then the answer is going to be positive. I think of it as like you cover up a negative and then a negative, so negative times or negative multiplied by a negative, you're going to end up with a positive. Or you just cover two of them
So if you
up.
if you just pretty much add them together and then cross them, I guess.
Yeah, and then, so with adding, the rules are different, but I think we're good with that. But so this answer is different. I would probably just do
one more, right? And then,
well, yeah, like if I was doing it, I would probably convert them to decimals, just because
I didn't
faster.
know how you can do it that easy.
But you understand how to convert it now, and then do it like that, yeah?
Yeah, you just divided the 7 divided by 8, right? Or
Yep.
Or which one did you do first? Does it matter?
Top first.
Always the top. Okay.
Yeah, always the top first in the calculator.
Cool.
If you want to,
I didn't know you can do it like that.
if you want me to go over another one, we can, or we can move on. It's up to you. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. Let me show you one that it kind of confused me. It's probably super easy. I just got.
Let's see it.
And it was the guy that was showing us. I don't know. I hope you can hear the audio through here.
I think I will be able to. Is this like the explanation of it, or?
It's just because it was like it was a half, right? 1 and then /2.
Okay.
And he just like it was 10, and then he added the half to the 10, and it was 21 all of a sudden. I mean, it might be stupid to me, but I just don't know how.
Yeah, let's see what happened.
Let's see, it's this one. Can you hear it?
No, not that well.
So it's not this one, but.
Well, when you do see it, just show me the part, and then I'll try and figure out what they're doing.
Okay.
So hopefully I won't need to hear it.
If I can find it.
Oh, is this what? Is this it?
It might be. Yeah, it looks. Let's see. I'll tell you when.
I think this one's it.
So he's adding 1/2 to both sides.
Oh, I know what he did.
So how did it become 21? Or let's see if it keeps going.
Yeah, it'll be 21/2. So
And how's that?
he got a common denominator like in his head. He did it. He didn't show that step.
Oh, okay. Can you show me?
Yeah. So for this one, it's kind of harder to do it into decimal. Yeah, let me just share my screen and I'll show you.
Okay.
So yeah, so he the first thing was adding the 1/2, so those go away, and you got x/3 equals, and now this part. So this is the step that he's not showing. 10 plus 1/2. We're adding now, so we can't just go straight across the top, straight across the bottom. That is only with multiplication. So on this one, we got to get a common denominator. So you put that one, a whole number, you can always put it over 1. And then you try and think, the question would be, what can you multiply to this part to make it the same as that part, just the bottom. And in this case, you can multiply this one by 2. But if you do it to the bottom of the number, you also have to do it to the top. So that way, if you were, this is kind of like unreducing a fraction, but It has to be the same on the top, same on the bottom, because if you don't, then you're not actually you're actually changing the number. But the idea is,
And how do you
go ahead.
how do you get the 2? Just because the one on across, or is it?
So I'll do another example in a second, but you're just trying to figure out through multiplication, like what can I multiply to this number so that these two bottom numbers end up being the same number. That's the question. Like what can you multiply? Okay. And you just try stuff out. So like if this was a 10 here, then I would have multiplied by 10 because 1 times any number just returns
it's going to be the same number, right?
But I'll show you one where it's a little bit different after this. But that's the step that he's missing. So after you do this part, you get 10 times 2 is 20.
And then you add the 1?
Yeah, 1 times 2 is 2, and then plus 1 over 2. That one. Now we have the same denominator, which means you write the denominator once. Once they're the same, you can just put them in the same cup and add the top.
Oh, okay. 20. Yeah, because he confused me with that one. I was like, how do you get the number? What do you do?
And then, do you know what the last step was? Do you remember?
For what? To solve it?
Yeah, to solve. Yeah.
This one, I think you just you would times the 3, right?
Yeah. And then times 3, and that's the same thing as 3 over 1. 3 over 1, the 3's cancel. X over 1 is the same thing as just x, and then so 3 is 63 over 2, something like that.
Okay, cool.
Here's the thing. I probably would have converted stuff to decimal since you're doing multiple choice stuff, but the problem becomes that part you can't really change it to a decimal unless you know that x over 3 is the same as 1 over 3 times x, and then you can convert that into a decimal. 1 divided by 3.
Okay, so the x still stays.
Yeah, still stays on top, or like you can think of it in the middle.
On the side, yeah, it's gonna be there.
Definitely not on the bottom. That's means something different.
All right.
And then
cool.
one more time, one more thing is doing this step again, but like with different fractions. So I'm gonna just make up something. 3 over 4 plus 1 over. I'm going to say 1 over 5. So the question is, what can you multiply to these numbers so that afterwards they become the same number? That's the question.
I did like 20, right?
Yeah, 20 is the common denominator. You can multiply this one by 5, and then this one by 4. And then the bottoms will become the same. The bottom will become 20.
Oh, okay.
And 20. And then 15 and 4. So we get 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 over 20. So that would be the answer for that. Sometimes it's a little bit different. Sometimes it's like, let's say 1 over 3 plus let's see. What do I want to do?
Does it always have to be the lowest number? Like let's
say, it doesn't have to be.
What if I would say that 40? You know, because they would both add up to 40, but it's just way outrageous.
Yeah, here's that's actually even a better example than what I'm doing. So you said 3 over 4 plus 1 over 5. You could make them get to 40 by multiplying by 10 and by 10, and then 5 times what is 40? 5 times
8, I think.
5 times, yeah, 8, right? 6 times 8 is 48. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could do this, and then you get 30 over 40 plus 8 over 40. Since the bottoms are the same, you can write it down once, and then you get 38. But then they look different, right?
Yeah.
But then the next question, if you want them to look the same, or if the question is asking you to reduce, the question is, what number goes into both? What can you divide both of them the same number? What number goes into both the top and the bottom? And in this case, these are even numbers, so you can divide both of them by 2. And if you divide 38 by 2, usually I just do like a little divide by 2, divide by 2. This is the opposite. We're reducing right now. This is the opposite of this step. See, we're dividing here to make things smaller. We're unreducing here by multiplying, but it's still the same exact thing. If you do 38 divided by 2, that'll be 19, and you do 40 divided by 2, and that'll be 20. So it's the same.
And sometimes they'll make you do that, or what have you? It's just up to what you choose. I
think with multiple choice, I would just put it in the calculator and get the decimal. Sometimes you'll get an answer, and you'll get something like this, but the only answers that are showing are something that's reduced. But if you got them into a decimal, both of them, like if you do 38 divided by 40, that gives you 0.95. And then if you do 19 divided by 20, 19 divided by 20, that still gives you 0.95. So I think the easiest thing to do is just to convert to decimal. If it's like multiple choice, and you can just quickly convert all the answers into decimal too.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's good. I was wondering how he got it that whole day, and I was gonna take a picture and send it to you, but it's like it was a video, you know.
Yeah. Well, even if you do it on your phone, throughout the day, I could like do 5 minutes and just show you, send it off. So if you want to.
Well, I would just send it to you that way. Whenever we do this, you can have it there and then we'll figure it out.
Well, whatever you want, I'm down with that too.
That way you're not just wasting your time on it.
It's no problem. So here, I'm gonna stop sharing, and then you can go on to whatever.
Okay. Let me go to the test now, and we'll see the next.
Sure.
All right, so this one's different. I haven't done anything like this.
One cylinder has a volume of 8 centimeters cubed, less than 7/8 of the volume of a second cylinder. Ugh, that's messy. If the first cylinder's volume is 216 centimeters cubed, what is the correct equation and value of x, the volume of the second cylinder? Okay, so this is one of the ones where they tell you stuff, and you got to figure out an equation like for it, and then solving it.
Real world questions, right?
Yeah, I mean, these are just.
What about the CM to the 3?
So that's
they didn't show me none of that.
That's just cubic centimeters. You know, how, like you have a square foot represents like space on the floor, and then cubic feet is like 3D space.
Oh, okay.
It's like a volume, so it takes up 3D space. So imagine you have 8 cubic centimeters. It's like a dice or a die that is a centimeter by centimeter by centimeter. That's 1 cubic centimeter. In this case, 8 centimeters cubed. That just means you have a cube that's 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters. and it makes a cube. So it's just a unit of volume in this one. So the first thing, x, the x is the unknown. What is the thing that it's asking for? What is the unknown that'll be represented?
The volume of the second cylinder.
Yeah, so x is the volume of second cylinder. This is like backwards.
Yeah, they always do.
Yeah, one cylinder has volume that's 8 centimeters cubed, less than 7/8 of the volume of the second cylinder. Let me write that down real quick. All right. One cylinder is 8 c cubed less than 7/8 of the second cylinder. If the first cylinder's volume is 268, okay. First cylinder equals 216 c cubed. All right. What is the correct equation and value of x? All right, let's do here. I'm going to share mine.
Okay. I get another try, so like if we don't have time, you know.
Well, if we can, do you want to pause it right now? Actually, can you pause it?
I can't, because if I pause it without answering, that one just goes away.
Oh, we need to know the answer before we pause. Is that
What's
right?
that?
Do we need to know the answer before we pause?
Yeah, so if I were to go save and exit
that makes
without
sense.
answering,
Yeah,
that one
then
just
you could
gets
just do
locked.
it. Yeah,
because we looked at it. Yeah.
All right, so on this one, of that translates to multiply. So the word of is translates to equals.
So of is multiply.
Yeah, and then it says, so we're trying to figure out an equation that gives you x, which is the volume of the second cylinder. And it says the total is equal to the first cylinder is equal to 216, right?
Yeah, if the first cylinder's volume is 216, what is the correct equation and the value of x?
So that's my hint for this. I think it might be something equals 216, and then I'm going to try and read this and change it into a math equation. So one cylinder's volume, we already know that. That's 216. Is 8.
So the CM3 doesn't mean anything. We're not doing it. That's just
it's just the units at the end.
Okay.
We don't have to write it in our equation. And then so one cylinder's volume is, that's the equal sign. I'm kind of going backwards this way. Is
cool.
8 centimeters less than. So the way you would write 8 centimeters cubed less than, like if you had 10, what's 8 centimeters, or 8 less than 10? What's 8 less than 10?
2, right?
It would be 2. You're just subtracting, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever they say a number less than something, you just have to subtract that number off. So that's what we're going to do, minus 8.
Okay.
And we got to subtract it from something. So 7/8 of is multiplication. So 7/8 of, I'm going to put it in parentheses, of the second cylinder's volume, which we know is x. So that's the equation.
Okay.
And then I would just convert this to a decimal and then add the 8 and then divide by the decimal. You want to try that right now, and I'll do it.
So we're gonna you're gonna convert it into a decimal.
Yeah, convert this one into a decimal, so I'll have a decimal there,
and
then
same. It would be 0.85, 875. I mean.
So my calculator closed.
Then I would add the 8.
Yeah.
To the 8, zero that out.
Mm-hmm.
Add the 8 to the 216.
Mm-hmm.
216. 224. And then, so then I divide the freaking 8.75, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zero that out. Divide by 0.875 equals 256. So x equals 256.
256. Yep, that's what I got.
Okay.
Is that one of the?
That's one of the. Yeah. So it's the same exact way as you wrote it.
And then x equals 256.
Yeah.
Perfect. I just think it's easier to write it out with decimals if they don't.
Cool.
Care
Yeah. Sometimes I get mixed up the way, but I guess like less than, which I should write all these down. Like the of.
Yeah. So 8 when it's a number.
Multiply.
8 centimeters less than, that means subtract 8. 5 centimeters less than, it means subtract 5. But you have to subtract it from something, so then you have to read the next part of the sentence.
Right.
And if you want, because I'm recording this, you could like fast forward through the video and find it. Or I could just send you screenshots of all this. That'd be super quick, and then you could just go back whenever you want.
Well, that too. I need to start watching the videos before I do these tests on my own, so I can just catch back up. Because sometimes if I don't do them for 2 days, then I would just lose.
All right. What is the value of x in the equation below? How would you want to start solving this? Tell me what you're thinking right now.
I would do the 1/3, the 1/3.
Okay. What do you do to that?
First, and I would would you do the? All right. So would you make that one a decimal or?
You could, but then it changes what you're doing. That's fine. If you want to keep doing that, that's fine.
Like I would just do the. I think because this one doesn't have any minus or anything, so you would divide 1, 3, 1, 3, right?
You could. There's a couple different things here. Let's switch back. This one will be a pretty quick one, I think.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy. I think we've done it before. Those stupid fractions always. I don't know. That's something.
So, if you wanted to use a decimal, then you could just divide that 1 divided by 3, and it's 0.33 forever. You could just put a line on top, and then just press it a whole bunch in the calculator so that it looks like a whole bunch of 3s. That's really what you do. But you could do that, and then 12x minus 24 equals 16. So that's, to start off, yeah, you could do that. This is the farthest away from the x, so you could divide by 0.33, divide by 0.33. That goes away, and then you have 12x minus 24. And then the way I type this into the calculator is 16 divide and then point, and then I just hit as many 3s as the calculator will let me do.
Oh, okay. What do you think is the easy way? The easier way would be just to multiply the 1, 3,
multiply
1, 3,
by
and then
3 to both sides. Yeah, you do the opposite. So like here it's, oops.
These are crossed out, so I'll do the 1, 3, and then do the 1 underneath the 16.
Yeah.
And then since we're multiplying, that means it's just going to be 16/3, right?
Yep. Well, did you flip it over? 3 over 1?
Oh, no, I forgot you.
Yeah, you got to multiply.
So
Then
that
it's a
still
fraction.
zeroes it out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'll do 3 over 1, so then 16 times 3. Three. 48.
And then over 1, you can write the 1 on the bottom, or you can leave it off. And then it's a simple one. So you should finish the rest, and then we'll check each other.
Okay, let me write it down first. 12x minus 24 equals 48. So then I would add the 24.
Mm-hmm.
So that cancels that out. Add the 24, which is 72, right?
Yeah.
Or let me make sure.
Yep.
72. 12x. So then I would divide the 12. That cancels that out, leaves the x. And then I divide the 12 to 72. Divide by 12 would equal 6.
Yep.
So x equals 6.
That's what I got.
Yeah, see, sometimes I don't know what the hell, I just fucking forget.
So
I need to just watch the video when I go to the course. And,
I just put it on like 2 times speed and just go through it to refresh yourself.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember you used to do the podcast like that.
Yep.
It's crazy.
All right. What is the value of x in the equation? You think you can do that one?
I think we've done this one actually, and it's -3.
Do you want me to check it, or are you confident?
Well, it's -3, but let me do it though. Just we still got 30 minutes. It's not. There's a rush on this one. For the quiz, at least.
Okay.
X minus 1.4 is 35. So I would add the 1.4, zero that out, leaves the 0.7 x, add the 1.4 to the minus 35, or 3.5, I mean.
3.5.
Add that. And it's always the top first? Always? Or does it matter like on this one? Or?
What do you mean, when you're adding or subtracting, or?
Yeah, like if I were to add like the 3.5 to the 1.4, it doesn't matter either way, right?
As long as the negative is on the 3.5. Do you know how to do that in the calculator?
Yeah, you just hit the negative button, right? The subtract.
The plus minus, yeah. Or you not the minus button, but the plus minus. You see the plus
the top.
/ minus?
Oh, okay, it adds it. Yeah, I didn't even know that. No, I was adding the other one. That's probably why I was messing up.
So here's how you do that. You have to type the number first in order for it to be negative. So to type negative 3.5, you have to hit 3.5 first, and then hit that plus minus button on the top. And then it changes it to a negative, and then you can just now do plus 1.4. So plus 1.4. And that gives you
cool.
The thing. So it's, whenever you want to type in a negative number, you have to type the number in first, then hit the plus negative sign, and then go on from there.
So it should be 4.9, right? Or am I off?
No, it should be negative 2.1.
3.5
negative
plus. Yeah, I hit the negative, and then 1.4 equals 2.1. Oh, okay, so that's what's been throwing me off.
Yeah.
There. And then I would divide it by 0.7 equals. Oh, okay. Yeah, because you know what I was doing? Mm-hmm. I would do like right now. Let's say negative 3.5. I would hit the subtraction, and then I would hit 3.5. But it never put nothing on there. I just thought it was doing it.
Yeah. So sometimes it depends on what you type in afterwards. Sometimes it'll stay that way, but sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't, depending on what you type in afterwards.
Okay.
So this one is like the one we did before, like 2 problems ago, with the 1/3 in front.
Yeah, I can do this one.
All right, you do it, and then I'll do it also, and then we'll check.
Okay.
There's one part, I don't know if you'll well, actually, maybe you'll think of it. Never mind.
I'll try. I got a little stuck on that, but I'll give it a shot.
What are you getting stuck at?
Oh, I was just the which one to do first, the multiplication or the division, the divide. But I'm good. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Okay.
So for this question, it's asking which equations have the same value.
Oh, so you gotta solve more.
Yeah, more than one, right? To figure out.
Yeah.
So it's not the one that I'm doing. It's I have to solve them all, I guess.
Oh, you have to.
Well, I just gotta solve them in a different.
Until you get 3 of the same answer, yeah. Did you get an answer just for the one in the question?
No, I think I messed up, and I can show you what I did. So the first, so we have the 3/5.
Mm-hmm.
So I just divide. So I switched it over to multiplication. So I put the 5 and above and the 3, and then cross that one out.
Yep.
Then I went over, did the 5 and the 3 to the 72, and I put 1 underneath the 72.
Uh-huh.
Then I got 360.
Yeah.
Over 3.
Mm-hmm. That's right so far.
So that's not wrong then.
Nope.
Okay.
This is
so
the part.
Then I do the 15. So I add the 15.
Yeah, but first, like you could, if you divide 360 by 3, you get a whole number. So. Yeah, so it becomes easier. So then it'll be 30x minus 15.
120, right?
Equals 120, yeah. And then it's a lot simpler.
Oh.
That's why I always try, like, after, so that first step, multiplying by the 5 on the top and the 3 on the bottom, that's a good first step because, like, maybe you'll remember that, like, right away. And then after that, whenever I get fractions, I just try and convert it to a decimal, and especially with multiple choice. Cool. And sometimes they come out to whole numbers.
So I divided the 155 by 30, and it was like 5, 1, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7.
Wait a minute. Did you write down 30x minus 15 equals 120?
Yeah, so then I added the 15 to the 120 to make it 155.
It should be 135.
Oh, yeah, what the fuck? Right.
Then go from there.
135 divided by 30 equals 4.5.
Yes. So we already have one of the answers.
And then we divide the 30 by 30, cross that out, and then
X equals 4.5. Yeah?
that's just one, right? So select three options. So the x equals 4.5.
And then now we got to solve those ones.
So I can just do them.
Yeah, and those ones are all more
18.
simple.
Yeah, these are the simple ones. 15.
So yeah, I'm going to try the first one.
Add 15.
Let me know what you get for any of them, and then I'll say if I got the same thing or not.
So I divided 87 by 18.
Me too.
Got like 4.8.
Yeah.
3.
I got the same. So that one isn't part of the answer.
Okay, and then I'll do the other ones then. So for the second one, I got 1.94.
1.94. I don't think I got that, but let me see. You did you do the add 25?
I added the 25 and then I got 97.
97 and then divided by 50?
97 divided by 50.
Oh, 1.94? Yeah.
1.94, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
So that one's also not the right answer. So that means the other...
So it'd be the last three, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do one more just to...
Sure. You should do the second to last one, because that one's the most complicated one.
Okay. All right. So I got the 4.5.
There you go.
And that one, what I did is just divide the 3 by 3, right?
Right. You divide the 3 off first.
I divided. Got 24.
Mm-hmm.
And added the 3, 27, and then I divided by 6.
Yep. So wait a minute. There's a pre-test, and then you get 2 attempts to do the test. Is that what happens?
Yeah, but last time we did the pre-test and we passed it, but it still gave me the course, and that was the 2-step equation. It was the either the one before this, the one-step equation.
Okay,
so we passed the 2, and it still gave it to me. So, which is not a bad thing. That's why I don't mind if we fail, because I can still get another test and I can do it myself.
All right. What's the next one? What's the next topic? Because I see this one's solving 2.
So it's going to be a pre-test. It's going to be combining like terms to solve equations.
Okay. Can I do like a short little lesson on this, and then you could try it on your own?
Yeah. Even if, like I said, if you don't have time today, we can do tomorrow. I won't be here, but we can do like whenever you have time.
Whenever Saturday, whenever Saturday works.
Or Saturday, yeah, Saturday for sure.
Or whenever Saturday, whenever Sunday, doesn't matter. But let me just say a quick thing, because and it says to solve equations. Okay, so let me share my screen, and then I'll try and explain just from the title.
For sure.
And it might get more complicated than what I'm about to say, but at least it'll be something.
But like I said, they give me their course too. But see how that guy cut out that one part?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what to do about it. I mean, I kind of figured it out. Well, not that part, but like other things that he said.
Right. So like terms are just like if I have 3x plus 5 equals 11. This is a term, the 3x. The 5 is a term. You could also say the plus 5, a positive 5. That's a term. And this is a term, the 11. Like terms would be, in this case, the 5 and the 11, or the plus 5 and the plus 11. Same idea. And all it means...
they like terms because they don't have the x with it?
They don't have the x with it. That's it. So like terms have to be the same. If they have a variable, it has to be the same variable. If it's like 3x squared, I don't think they're going to do this to you on this one.
The next one, right? I've seen that before, though.
Yeah, but like I don't think they'll do it on this lesson. But if you had something like this, then the like terms, what I usually do is the x squareds. So negative 27x squared, that's a like term. 3x squared is a like term. The 4x is not like terms with this, but I do a little squiggly, a different way of underlining. Those are like terms because they both have an x. And then this one doesn't have any like terms with it. So I imagine some equation that they'll give you is like 5 minus 4x plus 3 plus 9x equals negative 2x plus 8 minus 10x. Okay, so the like terms, that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to identify the like terms on either side. So on the left side, I have a 5 and a 3. They don't have any variable, so those are like terms. And then I have a negative, I'll just circle it, negative 4x. You include the sign with it, by the way. And then positive 9x. And I'm just going to deal with that side for now. So to combine like terms just means you put them next to each other and either add or subtract, whatever it tells you to do. So with the 5s, or the 5 and the 3, they're both positive numbers. So it's just the same as 5 plus 3, which would be 8. So that turns to 8, and then you don't write down the 5 or the 3 separately anymore.
Okay.
For the negative 4 and the negative 4x and the positive 9x, the 4 is negative, this is positive. So the way you combine them is just 9x minus 4x. You just deal with the positive 9 and negative 4. And that would be, so like 9 minus 4, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So that would be positive 5, and then you tack on the x again. It's like you have 1x negative, 2x negative, 3x negative, 4x negative, and then 9 positive x's. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are going to cancel out with the negative ones, and then there will be 5 positive ones left over.
Cool.
Still. So that's
Okay.
this side. You can combine like terms and get that, and you do the same thing on this side. Here and here are like terms. The 8 doesn't have any like terms, so you just leave it. The negative, both of them are negative on this one. So if you have 2 negatives and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, nothing cancels out because they're all negatives. So you're just basically adding them together. 10 plus 2.
Then it turns into a positive, right?
That's only when you're multiplying. In this case, when you're combining like terms, you're only going to be adding or subtracting. And in this case, since they're the same sign, nothing cancels out. So when you combine them, it's the same as adding. So this would be minus 12x. And we've written that and that and that. You could also write it 5x plus 8. And you could also write negative 12x as long as you keep the sign in front of the number that it corresponds to. This one's a positive 8, so you can say plus 8. Those are the same.
Cool.
And then what I usually say is like letters to one side, numbers to the other. And it doesn't matter which one you do. So I'm just going to say the letters, I'm going to move this way. So I'll do the opposite, plus 12x. And I can't do the plus 12x to this because they're not like terms. The 8 doesn't have an x. So I can only do plus 12x to this. Now this is also positive. So when they're the same sign, I'm just adding them, just like when these are the same sign, I added them. I just kept the negative sign. Well, here, they're both positive, so I'm going to add them. That's 17x. Nothing happened to the 8, so plus 8. That cancels out. No more x either, and then it's just 8 here. And then, so I solved.
And that's solved.
Not yet. We're still trying to get the x all by itself.
Oh, okay.
This one's a little bit weird, but I think it's good to see anyway. But now it's just like an equation that you have been doing, except for something weird happens. So the furthest thing away from the x is the plus 8, so you do the opposite. That goes away, and this actually goes away as well. So you write a 0 on that side. That's the weird part about this problem. I just made it up. I didn't mean for that to happen. But if this were another, like you treat it the same way. Like technically, you could write plus 0 here, but anything plus 0 is still just the same as just writing like 17x. On this side, there's nothing else there. So technically, I mean, logically, you could just write nothing like you normally do when you cancel stuff out, but then there's nothing to write over here. So to represent that, we still just write 0. And then the last thing you would do is divide by 17, and a lot of people get this confused because it's weird, but if 0 is on the top, it's just 0, x equals 0. And then you can even check that in the calculator. 0 first, if it's on the top, you just put it in the 0 first, and then divide by 17.
By 17.
And you get 0. That was actually a long one, but combining like terms just means it has the same variable or no variable. And then you combine those on one side. You don't do the opposite. Like here, we just kept the negative 4x a negative. We kept the 9x a positive. And then to combine them, since they were one negative, one positive, they canceled each other out. So that was the same as subtracting. So this is 9 minus 4. write down whatever you get, and then combine these. They're both positive, so that gives you the positive 8 there. And then do the same on the right side, and then pretend, letters to one side, numbers to the other. I happen to move this over that way. And then eventually I moved the 8 over that way. This 8 went that way. So in this case, letters went to the left, and then numbers went to the right. But letters to one side, numbers to the other.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna call it there. And if you're gonna keep working, good luck. But
Thinking, when do you want me to what? I don't know if you want pay or what the hell.
Sure. Let's just do when do you get paid normally?
I got paid today, so.
How about every your payday we'll add them up and then do it, or actually whenever you want. It doesn't matter to me.
No, to me it doesn't matter. That's why I just don't want you to.
Do you have Zelle?
Yeah.
Okay.